Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's the final day of February and the final game of the regular season for your Fairfield women's basketball team as they take on the crosstown rivals Sacred Heart Pioneers in a crosstown clash before Atlantic City. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew Jamison alongside Ethan Hudson. Ethan, no better way to close out a regular season, another successful one for the Fairfield Stags.
Andrew, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've come to expect such fantastic regular seasons from them. And like you said, what better day to win it on senior day? Here we have our seniors honored for their great achievements. I'll tell you, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it should be a good one. Last time out, Fairfield dominant, 81-51 road win at Siena. 26 points in the first quarter. Boy, would the Stags love that today and not waste any time there. Cyan Coe in particular has been a real highlight this year. 19 points and 9 rebounds in that last game at Siena. We could see a potential all-MAC spot for Cyan Coe, who made the all-rookie team last year and has taken a big jump this year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A big jump she has taken indeed. She's Fairfield's best rebounder. She's one of the MAC's best rebounders, and Fairfield's going to need that today. Sacred Heart, the one thing they're better at than Fairfield is, you guessed it, rebounding.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, players to watch for Sacred Heart. Amelia Wood is averaging 6.5 rebounds per game. That's 10th in the MAC. And then Nalise Dudley, 5 rebounds per game. And then Emma Kirby is also averaging 6 rebounds a game. And, you know, even though it was a dominant road win at Siena, Fairfield got out-rebounded 44-34. They don't have that big. And while Coe has been great in the paint and they've scored 50 points in the paint in that last game, it's not all about points in the paint. It's about those rebounds and getting more possessions.
You're absolutely right. You got to do it on both ends.
And then for Katie Lammer, I know you had a hot take. We were talking about pregame. You think MAC Player of the Year right now?
Absolutely. Who else? Leading the MAC in scoring, leading the MAC in assists. She's up there in rebounds too, and guess what? She's only a point guard. She can do everything. She's been the pulse of this team. Could not be more impressed, could not be more deserving of the award. But that's just me.
And it's interesting. She is the only player to have a triple-double this season in the MAC. Go back to that game against Niagara where there was a 61-point win. Yes, 61. Hoping for a competitive one here tonight to round out the regular season before Atlantic City this Friday, where the Stags will be the 2 seed. But we will be right back for the start of Fairfield women's basketball regular season finale. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WVOF Sports coverage of Fairfield Women's Basketball. I'm Andrew Jamison alongside Ethan Hudson. Ethan, starters were just announced. Take us through who we got.
So for Sacred Heart, Andrew, at guard, we have Sophie Nascimento. At guard, Sierra Johnson, followed by Amelia Wood at the 5, Naylor Dudley at the forward, and Emma Kirby. Now on the Fairfield side of things, we have the Roadrunner, Megan Anderson. Guard, Sydney Scott. Forward and lead of the paint, Cy Coe. At guard, Jillian Herder, and of course, the one, the only, Katie Lamro.
I know we were talking during the break. Meg Anderson was just 2 of 10 in that game versus Sacred Heart. Only 4 points. That's a season low for her. Definitely looking for a bounce-back performance here, not just to redeem herself, but for momentum heading into Atlantic City, as are the rest of the Stags looking for a win.
Well, you're absolutely right. That was not a typical Meg Anderson performance. It's definitely not something we're used to, obviously. But listen, the thing I love about Meg Anderson is even when her shot's not falling, she finds other ways to impact the game. Always. She's getting on the floor. She's rebounding. She's setting up teammates. And I expect her this game to look for her shot, particularly on the outside, the three-pointer. Leads the MAC in three-point percentage. Been scorching from deep.
You know how she followed up that game at Sacred Heart? 40-point game versus Marist. So maybe we're something in store for that. I don't know.
Could be.
But just about to get underway here. Sacred Heart in red, Fairfield in white. Student section is piled in. Great community turnout here on this senior day, honoring the 4 seniors pregame. Jalen Sackrider, Lauren Beach, Janelle Brown, and last but not least, Sydney Scott, who they made sure to say went 6 for 6 in the in Atlantic City MAC championship. Maybe it's foreshadowing.
Could be. We'd love to see another one of those, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and the three-point shooting, Sacred Heart, they were definitely held in check last time out at Fairfield there. Back and forth through 3 quarters, what we talked about. Amelia Wood was 0 of 5 from 3 in that game, and Fairfield outscored Sacred Heart 16-3. Both teams are looking to start hot, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely. Fairfield's going to come out punching as they always do. Expect to see a lot of threes from this team. They're not only the best three-point shooting team in the MAC, they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the entire country.
I believe that number was at 12.8 last time, and I think it might have been number 2, only behind in-state rival UConn Huskies, who were just a casual, undefeated #1 team in the country. That's pretty good company.
We'll take that.
Though, as both teams are taking the court now. Our officials are ready to go, it looks like. Good vibes all around here on this senior day. Both great turnout by the students and community. Head coach for the Fairfield Stags, Carly Tebow Johnson, her 4th year, seeking a three-peat. And then on Sacred Heart side, Jessica Minetti in her 13th season, but the Pioneers will be going back to AC after missing last year. Definitely a nice bounce-back season for them. And we're underway. Fairfield wins the tip. Herder corrals it. Katie Lamro, potential MAC Player of the Year, taking the ball up court here. Finds Sydney Scott outside the perimeter. Goes to Coe, back to Herder.
And I expect Sacred Heart to stay in man. They want to force Fairfield off his three-point line.
Fairfield loves to pass up good shots for better shots. Absolutely. Nice cut there by Coe. Anderson's got it now. Backs down on Dudley. Baby hook, just short there. Good rebound by Dudley there. You can see the rebounding is going to be a key storyline tonight.
Yeah, that was well defended too, forcing Meg to her left.
Dudley cut into the hoop. Anderson with the defense. Nice stand there, but Sacred Heart will retain possession.
Great job by Meg Anderson. Stay vertical, get the block.
And that's another thing. Even when Anderson's maybe not putting up the numbers she wants on the offensive end, she's always felt on the defensive end there one of the top MAC in blocks and steals.
Yeah, she's an absolute dog on the defensive end. You know, you never want to go against Meg Anderson.
Nice inbound pass there from Sierra Johnson to Emma Kirby, exploiting the size mismatch there for 2. 2-0 here early, just about a minute in. Herder's got it now.
How good has Jill Herder been for the Stags this year, huh?
Inserted to the starting lineup. That 3 short by Anderson, but you really mentioned she has taken a step this year in volume and production and really has answered the bell. As Johnson's going to be cutting here on Herder. Out to Nascimento, the freshman guard out of Scarsdale, New York. A fellow Westchester, New York native there. As she gets the bucket there, and the Sacred Heart's out to an early 4-0 lead.
Yeah, she's quick. She's shifty.
Definitely a fresh jolt of energy in this experienced Sacred Heart lineup. Good cut there by Cole, and she answers right back.
She just commands that paint. I love that footwork, using the left hand to finish too.
It's good to have a paint presence with a prolific three-point shooting team. Coe's dominance in the paint is such a welcome sight.
You're right. It's such a double whammy for teams.
And there's a little bit of a loose ball, but Wood corrals it. High pass there to Nascimento, and that's going to be a turnover for Sacred Heart.
And that's another thing. Sacred Heart averaging 19 turnovers a game. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Fairfield going to want to force that this game.
Fairfield just had 10 turnovers last game. Coach Carley definitely wanted to emphasize controlling the ball and getting more possessions as Lamro passes to Anderson here. Finds Coe. Looking for a player. There's Lamro on the perimeter. Coe in the paint again. Anderson, Scott. Her three. Always good to make your first three of the game.
All right, Andrew. She's 1 for 1. Only 5 more to go.
Let's hope so. Honestly, the crowd's behind her. Senior night, she's got to be feeling it. Emotions are high, but she feeds off it very well.
Yes, she does.
Nascimento here now. Pass outside to Dudley. Herder on her. Nascimento cuts on Lamro. Little baby pass to Kirby. That's no good. Rebound, Coe.
Yeah, and Fairfield caught a break, though. That's a look Kirby usually knocks down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough physical battle defensively, but the Stags you expect them to be up for it here. Scott's got the ball now. Bounce pass to Herder inside. Guarded by Nascimento. Now Johnson.
Great look.
Her pass to Coe. Her finish. Just an unlucky roll there. Rebound, Kirby, but encouraging possession.
I love that. I love that by Jill Herder, attacking and dumping off to Coe. See, that's something we wouldn't see from her last year.
Nice poke there by Sydney Scott, but Nascimento's able to recover. Here's Johnson on the outside now. Her cut. Very tough shot there. No good. Good defensive stand. Herder's going to take it up here. Quick transition play from the Stags. Herder, no good. Rebound, Kirby once again. It's going to be an offensive foul there going the other way. Kind of a little bit of a mental lapse there from Kirby.
Definitely. That's already, 2 turnovers now and less than 4 minutes have played?
That is 2 turnovers. And we know Fairfield hasn't gotten to the free throw line as much as they do, but when they do, they have been one of the best teams in the MAC. You can't be giving up, sounds like, these silly possessions and turnovers as an efficient of an offense as Fairfield is. Beach is going to check into the game here now. For Cyan Coe. Anderson in the paint finds Beach. Yeah, it looks like a little travel there. It's going to be Fairfield's first turnover of the game.
Yeah, she was a little sped up there.
Yeah, Sacred Heart's going to make a substitution too, as number 23, Faith Pappas, the senior guard from Long Valley, New Jersey, will check into the game for Emma Kirby. 5-4 Fairfield, 6:20 to go in the first quarter. Nascimento, Lamro guarding her. Boy, she's a pesky defender.
Yeah, same with Sydney Scott. Such active hands, everyone on this team.
Absolutely. And I think they're going to get a little bit of a foul on the floor, Lamro there. It looks like she extended that shoulder a little bit too overzealous, but love the tenacity nonetheless. And Fairfield going to make quick substitutions here. One of the things we applaud time and time again is their depth, as Janelle Brown's going to be checking into the game for Scott, who had an encouraging outing last time with 11 points on the road at Siena.
Yeah, listen, Janelle, she may not be the player she once was, but she's still a baller.
She certainly still has an impact on this team on, off the court, and in the greater Fairfield community, as we felt on senior day during pregame, as that shot there by Nascimento is good.
I have to say, I'm impressed with Sacred Heart. They are not a good offensive team, just to put it plainly, and they have been going punch for punch with Fairfield right now. Corner
three by Lamro, no good. Able to corral it as Nascimento once again. She's been everywhere so far this game. Nice behind the back, baby hook. Tough play there, just couldn't get the shot to fall. Fairfield going to try and capitalize now. Anderson.
$1 million move with a 10-cent finish as Meg hits the three. We've seen that movie before.
And, you know, it changes just like that. A turnover into quick offense, and Fairfield capitalizes. Meg Anderson, three. That's an encouraging sign for her. Wood now. Anderson guarding, dumps it off to Johnson. Johnson cuts, finds Wood on the outside.
D.
That's a great tip by Anderson. The defensive impact we felt. Beautiful pass by Herder. Quarterback to wide receiver. That's that chemistry unfolding right there. Anderson's got a quick 5.
Andrew, I think Meg can hear us. We just talked about her defense. What did she do? Blocks a 3, gets a fast break layup. That's called rewarding.
Defense to offense. That's Fairfield's DNA right there. Nellie Brown going to guard Nascimento now. 10-6 Fairfield halfway through the first quarter. Ref waited a little bit to make that decision, but it's going to be Fairfield ball, and the third Sacred Heart turnover early as we're going to go into our under 5 media timeout here. But Ethan, encouraging start for Fairfield.
Absolutely great start for Fairfield. They got to keep forcing these turnovers, hitting those threes. I'm not worried.
They're going to take immediate timeout. We'll take immediate timeout as well. 10-6 Fairfield halfway through the first quarter. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Leo D. Mahoney for WVOF Sports coverage of Fairfield women's basketball. Ethan, Fairfield out to a 10-6 early lead, capped off by the Jill Hurd and Megan Anderson pass. Fairfield's turning quick, savvy defense into efficient offense.
Yeah, Andrew, you said earlier they're turning defense into offense, and if you're Coach Carl, you can't be more happy with that. That's the best way to play basketball.
And Fairfield's going to make a substitution here. Milu Von Vliet is going to get her first minutes of the game here. Still trying to get back to 100% after that injury, which she missed great time, but nonetheless an impactful freshman.
Great look.
That's a beautiful no-look pass there by Lamro. She had one at Sienna that almost went to Koa, but that was savvy as it gets right there from Lamro, and that's her playmaking, selfless ability.
Yeah, this Fairfield squad, they move the ball so well, averaging 18 assists a game as a team.
And now the defense there by Lamro. She's everywhere and anywhere. Great. One more pass. Milu Von Vliet, no good. Great possession, though. Just couldn't get it to fall. Those will go in 9 times out of 10. Sacred Heart's going to go quickly here.
Yeah, you asked Lauren Beach. She wants that one back. That was a gimme.
Yeah, but look at her get right back and not move on to the next play. It's kind of that great mentality there from her a whole 5-year career as a Stag. That's Pappas on the outside here, cutting on Lamro. Nice, tough defense there by Lamro, and that's a great physical rebound by Beach.
Yes, it is, and Fairfield can push here.
Meg's going to push, indeed. She's going on Wood. Von Vliet outside. Anderson cuts on Johnson. Almost looked like a travel, but able to avoid. That's a nice interception there by Wood. Beach hustles, but Wood gets the finish for 2.
Yeah, look, that pass was telegraphed right there. That's why.
And then again, Sacred Heart right there, but the ref's going to swoop in and call a jump ball, and it will go Sacred Heart's way. Sacred Heart playing ball hawk right as of late right now.
Yeah, if you're Fairfield, you don't want to get too sloppy. You don't want to play down to your level of competition.
Yeah, Fairfield 3 turnovers now. Sacred Heart 4 already. City Scott's going to check into the game for Katie Lammer already with a three-pointer under her belt. Megan Anderson leads the Stags with 5 at the 3:20 mark to go in the first quarter. Not sure what they're talking about, but let's get back to playing as Nalise Dudley will be checking the ball in here to number 9, Missy Nuku, the junior out of New Zealand. Passes on the perimeter to Dudley. That's Wood on cutting into the paint.
Great double team right there.
That's a great defense by Beach initially and Anderson to get alter the shot. Nellie Brown with a high pass to Anderson. Went over, but they're going to get a call on the floor there to Missy Nuku. That'll be her first personal, Sacred Heart's second.
That's a great look by Janelle Brown, too. Placing it in a basket for Meg Anderson. I know they got a foul call. That probably wouldn't have been a bucket anyway.
And, her score numbers are down, like you mentioned. Only had 6 points per game this year, but she really is coming on lane, trying to make an impact. Anyway, that definitely has been felt as the season has progressed. As Von Vliet's got taken to the paint here. Finds Brown on the outside. Behind the back, between the legs, a little bit of razzle-dazzle.
Yeah, she's done an admirable job. I mean, listen, the torn ACL is a tough injury. There's an and one.
Oh, I don't think so. Again, the offensive foul there on Von Vliet. Carly doesn't like the call. I don't think the crowd does either, but the ref immediately signaled no baskets. We're going to look on the Jumbotron here. We don't have replay on the screen, but on the Jumbotron here. It's a bang-bang play. I get both sides.
It's closer than I thought. It's a little closer than I thought.
Definitely great aggressiveness by Fairfield in the paint there early. 6 points there already. Kirby back into the game, finds Dudley. Anderson on her. Coe and Kirby hustling and tussling in the paint. Another scrappy play there by Janelle Brown, but Sacred Heart will retain possession.
I have to say, I'm impressed with Sacred Heart's offense thus far. A lot of movement. I like it.
And this was the story of last year's game also. Sacred Heart got out to a lead, but then Fairfield came roaring back in the second half to ultimately win the game there. 3 on the corner by Faith Pappas is good, and it's a 1-point game.
Yeah, that's way too much space for her.
But nice pass by Nellie Brown. Defense to offense. That's that lightning-quick offense from Fairfield we're so accustomed to seeing.
Yeah, right now Fairfield's just outrunning Sacred Heart. They're beating them down the floor.
Looks like a track meet out there.
It does.
Allie Campbell getting her first minutes. She's on Nuku. Finds Dudley in the corner. Her quick 3. No good. Rebound Kirby. Tenacious defense there by Campbell as Brown comes away with it.
How awesome is that? She stays ready off the bench whenever they need her.
And you see the emphasis on the double teams here early. Sacred Heart not getting any easy looks or any passes for that matter as Nellie Brown on the perimeter. Intercepted by Kirby, but's able to corral her own pass. Scott finds Anderson on the perimeter. Minute 30 to go in this first quarter. Scott finds Brown. Brown in the corner, 3 on the shot clock. 3 is up. Short rebound. Nascimento.
I like that shot for Nellie, though.
I do like that. You just want to be more confident in that shot if she can earlier in the shot clock there, but nonetheless encouraging to see her not be shy to shoot that 3 eventually.
And when those go down, she becomes so much more dangerous.
It unlocks a new dimension, this Fairfield team, in that depth which we were alluding to earlier, Ethan. You're absolutely right. As Nascimento's up in the paint here, or looking to go into the paint. Coe on her. Anderson again with another double team. Scott on Pappas. Tough shot, no good. Rebound Coe.
Great D. Fairfield moves their feet so well on the defensive end.
They absolutely do, but there's a misfortunate pass there by Campbell to Anderson. They're going to get a foul off of the turnover there. That's going to be on Allie Campbell. That's going to be her first, team's third. Fairfield already with 5 turnovers, and you love playing fast, but also you got to slow it down sometimes. Sometimes being methodical is the best thing to do.
Yeah, you're right. This is a little unorthodox of Fairfield turnovers. Carly's definitely going to have a message about that as this quarter comes to a close.
Already halfway to their total at Siena when they had 10 turnovers, and this is Emma Kirby on Campbell now. Nice defense there. Campbell touched it last, but you'll have to like to see the defensive tenacity. No easy shots there. Sacred Heart is just 5 of 14 to start the game.
Yeah, it seems like every possession for Sacred Heart, their balls are getting tipped by Fairfield active hands.
And it's been a combination. It's a little bit of everybody for Fairfield here early on the defensive effort as Sacred Heart inbounds to Nascimento. Lamro on her. Nascimento cuts. Her finish, no good.
Good D.
Yeah, great rebound too by Campbell, but then there's another miscommunication and unfortunate bounce for Fairfield Campbell and Lamro is like hot potato with that ball, and Sacred Heart's going to have another possession.
Yeah, you're right. Just a miscommunication. If you're Fairfield, you hate those because you had really good defensive possession there.
And all these games Fairfield and Sacred Heart play since Sacred Heart has joined the MAC have really been competitive and close for the majority of these games. And I wouldn't be surprised if we have another one here tonight, but all those small plays are going to matter.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it's certainly shaping up to be. A 3-point game.
Nuku on the perimeter now. Herder guarding her back into the game. Pass to Kirby there. Beach holding her own. Good defense. Rebound Co. 2 seconds on the clock. Herder chucks it.
Left-handed.
You have to applaud the effort, but it is no good there. Nonetheless, we are through one. 14-11 Fairfield over Sacred Heart. Ethan, it's been a good one so far. There's a lot of teams. There's things both teams are doing well, but there's also things both teams can improve upon.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I mean, listen, Fairfield, they haven't played bad this game, but it does seem that they're not in the same gear that we usually see them in. I have to say, though, they're by far their most impressive aspect of this game is their defensive work. I tell you, I had the opportunity to sit in on a practice once. Coach Carly and her staff hammer defensive slides, and guess what? It's showing right now.
Defense wins championships. That's an adage that'll never go away as long as time will tell. But 14-11 is our score nonetheless. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Leo D. Mahoney Arena for WVOF Sports coverage of Fairfield women's basketball. I'm Andrew Jamison alongside Ethan Hudson on this senior day and final game of the regular season for Fairfield. 14-11's in our score. Both teams have had their highs. Both teams have maybe some things they want to improve on, as we were mentioning before the break.
Yeah, you're right. Fairfield's entering this quarter on a scoring drought. They haven't scored in the last 3 minutes, so.
Yeah, no free throws, no free throw attempts by either team either, so it really has been a struggle for both times offensively for both teams. As Coe's in the paint here. Wanted the cut to Lamro, but with good defense by Nascimento.
That's got to be a shot by Herder right there. Passed him a good look.
Lob pass to Coe. Tough finish. Good bucket there. Nice pass by Herder.
Man. Zyko, she's so underrated somehow still.
And breaking up the defensive play there. A little bit of contact, but the refs let him play on. Herder, pesky there, a little bit overzealous, but Lamro's there for the follow-up defense. That's Amelia Wood in the corner here. Come to the paint. Unlucky bounce there. Goes off her foot. Turnover, Sacred Heart. Going to do another substitution here for Sacred Heart. Sierra Johnson will check back into the game. That's for Faith Pappas. Johnson scoreless so far here. Lamro with the ball. She's also held scoreless, which is a rare occurrence, especially early on in games, but don't hold that to me.
No.
Lamro's 3. Thought it was going to be right there, honestly, but no good.
No announcers jinx there.
No announcers jinx for the moment. Fairfield, 2 of 6 from 3 early on. Sacred Heart just 1 of 3. Not a lot of volume for both teams so far.
That's what I'm surprised about. I thought we would see Fairfield shooting a lot more threes this game, just given their nature and how good they are at it. But you're right, this has been a much more hard-nosed game.
Reputations don't often mean a lot in basketball, Ethan.
That's true.
It's what on the court that matters. There's a 3-pointer on cue there by Missy Nuku, and it's a 2-point game. Fairfield still in the lead. Anderson with the ball up top. Ko thought about the 3. Hasn't have a lot of 3-point shots there, though, but more in her element in the paint here. Loses the ball, but taps it to Herder. Finds Scott. Her 3. No good there. There again, on the floor foul on Sierra Johnson. Looks like Ko went up for it. Johnson maybe might have got her in the back there. Nonetheless, Fairfield has another possession underneath.
Yeah, it's just Ko's presence that, people feel her. They feel her presence in the paint. And, maybe that makes some people give her an elbow. You get a foul call from that.
Physicality is an underrated value. We talk about time and time again at Fairfield's prolific 3-point shooting. But if this team can have a consistent paint presence with Cyan Ko at the forefront of it, this team can potentially do some damage beyond Atlantic City. Is nice poke there by Wood. Fairfield's going to retain possession again, though. Sacred Heart a lot more aggressive on defense.
Yeah, they are. They're also a pesky team, too. Move their feet well.
Lamro up top from the inbound from Herder. Anderson back to Lamro. The junior connection, Herder in there as well.
Lamro's looking for her shot here.
Beautiful pass there to Meg. Wild finish there. Not sure if that was tipped, but Fairfield gets it back. Lamro with the razzle-dazzle. Her 3. Short. Ko with the tip to Scott.
Great hustle.
Her shot looked like, it was blocked there. Nice defensive effort there. I believe that was Amelia Wood once again. Slow game offensively for both teams, but then there's another turnover by the Pioneers. Make that 7 on the game. Looks like we're going to have a Fairfield substitution here. So Janelle Brown's going to check into the game for Sydney Scott. Cyan Ko now the leading scorer for the Stags with 6. Sacred Heart more so by committee as Nascimento leads with 4. And then Nuku has 3. Several other players have 2.
They missed a Meg Anderson mismatch right there. Kitty Lamro was a little too late on that pass. Got kicked.
We're going to have another substitution here as Nuku's going to check out of the game, and it will be Nelise Dudley checking into the game. She had double digits in that last meeting between Fairfield and Sacred Heart at the end of January. Nellie's 3 grazes the rim barely. Rebound, Sacred Heart.
Yeah, now Fairfield's 2 for 8 from deep.
Hasn't been a light-em-up offensive night for either team here. Both teams still under 20, almost halfway through the second quarter. Dudley finds Kirby. Anderson looked like she got a hand on it, I thought, but no, she did not. Basket good. Kirby's up to 4, and we've got a tied game. Fairfield held scoreless in their last 2 minutes and 12 seconds, trying to get some momentum back here, and any bucket, honestly, would be good here.
Yeah, you're right. They just need to see one go through the net right now. Over the last 6.
Lamro, tight defense there by Johnson. Nothing easy for Katie Lamro tonight. Herder's 3. Good.
It's a little reminiscent of her brother right there, isn't it?
It is, and Jillian Herder was leading scorer in that game at Sacred Heart. 18 points and 7 rebounds. That would be a welcome sight for the Stags tonight. His offense has been slow so far, but nonetheless gets the crowd back into it.
Yeah, we already talked about earlier Herder's growth. She looks so much more confident out there.
And sophomore jumps are so common, and it was with this team in the second year of Coach Carly. It was their first MAC championship under her. Definitely see it on an individual level with Herder, absolutely, though. Kirby now. Outside is Wood.
Great D.
That's great defense. And I don't even think Sacred Heart was aware that the shot clock was winding down.
I think you're right. And, of course, Coach Manetti looks disgusted over there, as she should. That was not possession you want to
But Fairfield
replicate.
does that to so many teams. Just the tenacious and aggressive mindset and mentality on defense. those are way more common than you think. And, there's sometimes you can't help but just appreciate that tenacious defense and, in response, try to make adjustments. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Janelle Brown taking the ball up for Fairfield now. Meg Anderson to Lauren Beach. Herder, who just nailed the three-pointer. Back out to Lamoureux, still scoreless. Anderson with a 5. Her 3. The bank is open, and she was surprised maybe on that one.
You think she called that? I don't know.
It went in. That's all you can appreciate. End of story. Sierra Johnson taking the point now here. Fairfield's lead back up to 6, almost halfway through the second quarter. Kirby out on the perimeter. Not her element, but passes it off to Nascimento.
That looked like a push-off right there.
Nice pass there, but they're going to get a kick ball there. I think just one of those things you didn't even realize you do for Herder, but, Fairfield swarming once again. 22-16 is our score. Fairfield out in front. Fairfield looking to go 19-1 for the second consecutive year in MAC play and earn at least a co-championship in the MAC regular season title, along with the Quinnipiac Bobcats, who obliterated Canisius earlier today.
Yeah, but Fairfield's dominance just can't be underscored. Andrew, I saw a stat. Since 2023, Fairfield's 62-2 against MAC opponents.
And who are those 2 losses? Quinnipiac. Yeah. We all want the story, but every game is in the present here right now. Fairfield just got another steal. Lamoureux's cutting. No good there. That's off Nuku, though. But Katie Lamoureux, nothing easy so far. We were talking about it. But she is 0 of 4 now and 0 of 3 from three-point land. And, it's uncharacteristic, but at the same time, I think she knows she's going to get this type of attention now in what may very well be the 2025-2026 MAC Player of the Year.
Yeah, like you said, when you're a MAC Player of the Year candidate, coaches plan for you, right? Defenses are structured based on you. So you're right, Sacred Heart, to their credit, done a good job limiting her. But guess what? It's a long game.
It is absolutely a long game, and she's one of those shooters that can go on a run and just have a quiet 10, a quiet 12. All it takes is one basket for her to get going. 18.6 points per game. That's Katie Lamoureux's stat line. Sheds first in the MAC. 5.1 rebounds per game. 4.5 assists per game. That's also first in the MAC. And that's all on 48% from the court. So efficient is the only word I got for that.
She is. Again, it's so impressive, too, as a guard. She's taking difficult shots, and she's making them. It would be a little different if, a big shoots 60%. It's different. A guard, she has so many responsibilities, and she's still doing it, as you said, at such a high rate.
And Megan Anderson, we also mentioned at the top of the broadcast, also a likely first-team All-MAC player this year for the 3rd consecutive year, I believe, in all 3 years, which is a phenomenal feat in her own right. 16.2 points per game. That's 3rd in the MAC. Had a season-high 40 points in that game against Marist. She's up to 8 already, and she's had a nice start. Already more in that game last time out at Sacred Heart. What have you liked what you've seen from Anderson?
Well, I love, like you said, the three-pointers, man. She has been stroking that thing from deep. Like I said earlier on the broadcast, she leads the MAC in three-point field goal percentage. But again, take away the three-pointers for a second. How many times have you and me this broadcast said, Anderson got a hand on her? She's deflected so many balls here on the defensive end, and I think that's honestly been her greatest impact this game.
She makes her other teammates better. I think that's the other thing. We look at the assist total already. 8 assists compared to 4 for Sacred Heart. It's that selfish nature, the next man up mentality. And, a key thing we pointed out was Fairfield's depth, which has been injured at times. But when this team is clicking on all cylinders, from Sid Scott to Cyan Coe to Lauren Beach having a quiet 12 points on 6 of 6 shooting in that game against Quinnipiac, this is probably the most complete team maybe in the MAC, and certainly should be at the forefront of all Atlantic City brackets once that bracket becomes official after tonight's game.
Yeah, you cannot beat the Lamoureux-Anderson 1-2 punch. There's just nothing else like it.
It's hard with those 2 players, They were the top 2 for MAC Player of the Year and likely will be this year, but we do know Fairfield will be the number 2 seed in Atlantic City. That first game will be Friday at 2:30. WVOF Sports will be making the trip. Beneath it'll be on the trip. We don't know who's calling it yet, along with our colleagues Logan Rundin and Kyle Scanlon, but expect more great coverage of Fairfield basketball in the men's game tomorrow at 2 p.m. and a big one against the Mount. Don't miss that one, as well as there's another nice defensive play by Nuku. Seen a lot of those, but you have to appreciate the hustle from Sacred Heart.
Yeah, they're very active. They've been very active this game. I have to give them their credit.
Quite a turnaround from last year's Sacred Heart team, which kind of had teams at will offensively at times. Sacred Heart definitely a good turnaround season, although they have lost 6 of their last 7 after starting 9-3 in MAC play. Definitely something we want to correct. Nellie Brown, 3, no good. Great rebound by Anderson. Second chance. Lammer out to Anderson. Her 3. No good there. But that's one Anderson's going to want back, definitely. That's one she knows she probably should have had.
But she needs to keep shooting it.
Need volume in order to get results.
Yes, you do.
That shot by Dudley, no good. Rebound, Beach. And although Lammer's still scoreless, Fairfield's done a great job on Dudley. She's also held scoreless. 0 of 3 from the court. Anderson in the paint here on Nuku. Looked like a size mismatch there, but maybe a foul, maybe not. You gotta move on to the next play, though. That's a nice pass there by Nascimento to, I believe that was Dudley for her first points of the game.
That ended Fairfield's little mini 6-0 run.
It's been a game of runs so far here early, I feel like, but still only a 4-point lead for Fairfield in a slow offensive game for both teams. Beach in the paint. Nice cut. That's a good basket there. Not sure. It looks like Nuku just froze on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say Lauren Beach, though, she plays at her own pace. She never gets sped up. She always looks calm out there. Cool as a cucumber.
Any role you put her in, it seems like she succeeded. I know Blake Dodonis was very adamant on that, whether it's D&P, is that 3 no good by Sacred Heart. D&P, start, bench roll. She answers the bell every time. Is Lamro no good there? Looked like more contact there. Lamro now, 0 of 5, still looking for her first points.
Yeah, these refs are letting them play. I like it.
I mean, it is a rivalry after all, quickly becoming one of the best in the MAC, even though it's just Sacred Heart's second year in the conference. Great stand there, preventing more motion there by Dudley. Another turnover there for Sacred Heart as Fairfield's going to make subs. Sydney Scott, Von Vliet, and Christina Pham's going to be making her first minutes of the game here. Nellie Brown, then Megan Anderson, and Jill Herder will be sitting on the bench as there's a corresponding move, but Fairfield taking the ball up with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
I want to see if we get Sydney Scott involved here a little bit.
Lamro on the perimeter, tight defense by Nuku. Lamro gets separation.
Too much dribbling right now.
Yeah, already 8 seconds on the shot clock. Left Pham, long pass there. That's a risky one to Scott, but Wood is there to intercept it. That's already her second steal on the game, I believe.
Yeah, and if you're Christina Pham, if you're going to throw that pass, you got to throw it with some mustard behind it. You can't just loft it.
Maybe that's a little bit of inexperience there from Pham there. But Dudley's cut there gets by Von Vliet, and Sacred Heart back within 4. Pham on the perimeter, out to Lamro, back out to Von Vliet. Young lineup here, 2 freshmen on the court.
Another bad pass.
That's Wood again, her third steal. That's good, and Coach Carly's going to take a timeout here, and I think that's a good timed timeout. As a lot of uncharacteristic turnovers for Fairfield. 8 already in the game. Sacred Heart's got this to within 2, with particularly Amelia Wood, who is playing her best safety, cornerback, whatever you want to call it. She's had 3 steals already, but it's a lot of these uncharacteristic passes from Fairfield that have kept Sacred Heart back in this game.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Amelia Wood. She's definitely made her presence felt on this game, both ends of the floor. But yeah, Fairfield, uncharacteristic is the best way to put it. These arid passes, can't happen. It just cannot happen. A team of this caliber is too good to be doing that.
And while Fairfield has forced 10 turnovers, Sacred Heart has done a better job at executing off of those turnovers. It's 11-8. Sacred Heart leads in the points off turnovers battle. But again, rebounding, I know it really hasn't been a significant, determining factor in this game so far, but Sacred Heart's winning the rebound battle, albeit by a slim margin, 17-15.
Yes, they are.
Lamro still looking for her first points. Maybe the announcer jinx will come in sometime. Gets it to Coe. Tight defense by Kirby. Coe, a lot of dribbling here. Gets it out to Lamro. You can see a Sacred Heart bench trying to give the team more energy on the defensive effort. Lamro 3. No good. Rebound. Nuku.
Fairfield looking a little sped up on offense now.
Yeah, and I think Sacred Heart's going for a matter of quality. They're already happy being down. There's a collision there. Being down this few already. But you just want to keep staying toe-to-toe with Fairfield here as that pass goes into the crowd. Fairfield will retain possession. Herder and Anderson are go into the game.
And I like
here.
that move.
You know, I think you need to get momentum heading into the locker room at halftime.
Yeah.
And who do you draw on? Your veterans.
Of course.
You've got three juniors, one senior, and Cyanco, your best paint player on your team.
Couldn't.
Another tip there by Dudley, and I don't know if there's a stat for deflections, but I'd say Sacred Heart's got to be nearing that double-digit mark already.
Definitely. It's the most deflections I've seen in the first half in a long time.
Lowest scoring half I've seen in a while in any Fairfield game from both teams. 24-22 minutes to go. Coe, tough bucket, but no good there. Kirby with another rebound. That is her 5th already.
That was a great aggressive move by Coe. Just got to finish that. Great drop step, though.
And then Nuku's going to take in the paint here. Dudley has it now. Anderson tightly on her. Wood on the perimeter, guarded by Herder. Back out to Dudley. She loses it for a second. Anderson went for it aggressively, didn't get it. Dudley's 3 is good, and Sacred Heart's got a lead.
This is their first lead of the game, and that's just a broken play right there. Unlucky for Fairfield.
And 1 second difference between the shot clock and play clock. You'd assume Fairfield is going to hold it as long as they can, unless they just get a shot they can't pass up.
I think it would be huge for Fairfield to end this half on a made bucket.
More importantly, Katie Lambro just have a confidence boost heading into the locker room as she cuts here,
Great
finds
look.
Herder. Her 3. No good. Rebound, Amelia Wood.
Fairfield's got to get back.
2 seconds. Dudley chucks it. Hits the rim, but is no good. But Sacred Heart uses a dominant second quarter. Let's see the specifics here, though. They won that second quarter 14-10 and go into the locker room with a 1-point lead at 25-24. I don't remember the last time Fairfield held to under 25 points in the first half. We'll be doing that research at halftime. But Ethan, you know, if you're Sacred Heart, you got to keep the foot on the gas.
Absolutely. If you're Sacred Heart, you are thrilled with this start. I mean, Fairfield. If you're Fairfield, you got to be stronger with the basketball. Do more intent. Pass with intent. Dribble with intent. You know, they look a little sloppy right now, a little disjointed.
Also, physicality. You know, I think could also go in their favor. 20 rebounds to Fairfield's 15. You know, there is a size advantage, and the statistics heading into the game did favor Sacred Heart with Kirby, Wood, Dudley. But against these bigger teams with Quinnipiac, Sacred Heart, Merrimack, who's going to be 3rd in the conference and determine the tiebreaker between Quinnipiac and Fairfield, which we can go into a little bit later. Physicality and defense wins championships, and you can't live and die by the 3. Maybe that's a point of emphasis there by Carly. Is Fairfield 4 of 15 from 3. Sacred Heart, smaller sample size, but 3 of 6. It's been efficient and it's worked.
You're right. That stuff adds up too. Fairfield. At the end of the day, if you can't hit 3s, you got to go away from it. Then work it inside, get Psycho some more touches. Honestly, Andrew, I have to say, this was not on my bingo card that Fairfield would be down by 1 point at halftime.
It was not, but both teams were in the locker room trying to make the necessary adjustments to give their one the edge in the latest edition of this crosstown rivalry in the 203. 25-24 is your score. Sacred Heart up by 1. We'll be back around 15 for the second half. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes have passed, and the crowd is getting back into it as the second half is about to tip off. Sacred Heart is a 1-point lead. Ethan, what does Fairfield need to do to get back into this game and change this trajectory of this game?
Well, listen, Andrew, this game, I think it's clear by now, this is going to be a gritty and grindy game if Fairfield wants to win. You were talking earlier, the threes aren't falling, so what do? They have to find another way to score. Psycho, as we've mentioned before, made a big impact. That's all you can hope for, honestly.
But you mentioned this has been a bad performance maybe for Fairfield in the first half. They still only trail by 1, so
You're right.
It could be worse.
It could be much worse. We're pretty lucky here.
Amelia Wood has the ball now to open the second half here. Finds Emma Kirby.
Yeah, Amelia Wood, a double-double machine, leads the team in double-doubles. Fairfield going to have to contain her this half.
That's an encouraging start there on the defensive end as there's a steal for Sydney Scott. Herder with the ball now. Finds Lamro, who still is looking for her first points of the game. Meg finds Coe. Back to Anderson. Her 3. No good there, but good shot there for Meg.
Exactly. That's a good shot. That's a good look. Eventually, one of them's going to have to fall.
Yeah, maybe sooner or later, though, it's going to be a foul on Herder. That's going to be only her first, team's first. No one really in foul trouble. They really have, we talked about it at halftime, they're letting them play.
They are. This has been a physical game. And quite honestly, I like it.
Yeah.
Who likes too many whistles? Nobody.
Yeah, and it keeps the momentum and it keeps the crowd engaged. But Emma Kirby's going to go to the line for what I believe is the first free throw attempt by either team.
Yeah. Wow.
Something not common anymore in today's game at all levels is that first free throw is good there. Kirby second. Rattles but finds the bottom of the bucket. 27-24 Sacred Heart. Herder up top. A lot of pump fakes, another deflection. Looked like that one was kicked, though. So it won't be a deflection, it'll be a kick ball, but Fairfield retain possession. But if you get a hand on it, that's a win.
That is a win.
Now Sacred Heart's definitely a double figures, I feel like, after that one. Herder inbounding the ball now. Close to the 5 seconds, but gets it into Coe. Coe in the paint, working on Kirby.
Oh, great move.
Yeah, and that's what you needed there. Razzle-dazzle with the footwork, but then create just enough separation to get the shot.
Is Hakeem Olajuwon in the building? That was beautiful.
A little bit of a ways away, but, reminiscence. But Sacred Heart with another turnover there, and you can see Sierra Johnson going to Nessa Meadow, just saying, slow it down. I know the score isn't the high-flying pace the US offense love to play, but, not every game's going to be high scoring, and these games can reveal a lot about a team's identity and core.
Yeah, you're right. And basketball, as we know, is a game of adjustment. So Fairfield, how do you adjust when things aren't working?
Go to Sydney Scott for 3 maybe, but that one doesn't go this time. Here as it's a rebound for Sacred Heart, who's winning the rebound battle 21-15. Dudley on the perimeter. Her shot at the free throw line, no good. Rebound, Scott.
Psycho. Miss Psycho right there running.
Yeah, and in transition there.
Too late.
Went there, yeah, a little bit too late. Amelia Wood, that's her 4th steal of the game. Certainly in the running for maybe Defensive Player of the Year in the MAC. If it was this game, she'd be my favorite. And tough finish by Nasamedo there. She's up to 6.
Yeah, she's also been a really impressive freshman for this team, averaging just about 8 points per game.
Could be an X factor as we get to Atlantic City. The unlikeliest of heroes, maybe. She could be one of them. Lamro at the top of the key. She's cutting into the paint. They're going to get a foul there, and a little bit of hand motion back and forth there between Nasamedo and Lamro, but foul call is made.
Yeah, you can feel things are getting a little chippy maybe down there.
Sometimes these rivalry games bring these out of you, and for someone who's hungry as Lamro to try and get back into this game and make an impact and get on the board, maybe that's what's needed right now as Lamro's going to the line for 2.
And Lamro's such a fierce competitor, too. She will never back down from anyone.
And that free throw there is good by Lamro.
She's finally on the board.
Lamro, phenomenal free throw shooter at 90% on the year. That's got to be, if not the top 3 in the MAC.
That is the top in the MAC, I believe.
Up there in the country also, you'd have to think immediately. Kirby up top now, finds Dudley to Sierra Johnson.
Great D.
Yeah, she got some room, but Sacred Heart gets the offensive rebound. No good. Hits the back iron. Rebound.
Meg's getting held there.
Yeah, she was absolutely getting held. You can see Carly motion into the ref there, but you got to turn to quick offense. Lamro with the ball. Kick ball again. No, they just don't blow the whistle on that one, but Fairfield will retain possession.
It was a good look by Lamro.
We have seen her fair share of razzle-dazzle passes, looking for another one there. Don't count her out for another one this game as Coe's got the ball now, finds Herder. Herder is just 1 3-pointer on the game so far.
Great look.
Great pass to Lambert, her 3. Looks good, but no good. Anderson takes the ball and forces a jump ball, and it's possession arrow to Fairfield.
And that's the kind of thing that you can't teach in a basketball player. You either have that extra gear like Meg does, or you don't.
And a lot of times effort is, you expect it, but sometimes you just have an extra gear, and that was an extra gear there by Meg. Will she make it with a 3? Yes, she will, and that's a momentum swing for Fairfield there. Foul, jump ball, 3.
You're right, Andrew. If Fairfield goes on to win this game, I think that sequence right there we're going to look back on right there.
Meg's into double figures, the first stag tonight in that category with 11. Nascimento's 3. Answers right back, and a good crowd from the Sacred Heart fans who really have turned out.
Yeah, they
and a
travel
good showing.
well.
Granted, it's not that far. Sid Scott looked a little bit off there. Rebound, Dudley. Definitely pace of play is picked up here so far in this third quarter, almost halfway through. Sacred Heart remains up by 1. Wood cuts on Herder, trying to use the size for advantage. Passes out to Nascimento, her 3. No good.
Sacred Heart.
Tough rebound by Kirby. They're going to get a traveling violation on Nascimento. Fairfield catches a little bit of a break there, but the rebounding battle is becoming a little bit more glaring as we get in the later stages of this game.
Yeah, we've seen a couple offensive rebounds there by Sacred Heart. Offensive rebounds are such a killer in basketball because you have a good defensive possession, and then you got to do it all over again.
We also just saw Fairfield do that, with the jump ball and then coming off Meg Anderson. You can turn the tide very quickly, and only in one possession games just make it that much more important. But Lamro's got the ball here.
And I'm glad we're seeing Lauren Beach out.
Anderson's 3, a little bit strong. Rebound Nelly, but they're going to get a foul on the floor on Nuku, and it's going to stay here.
Again, Nelly's the shortest player on the court, but you would never be able to tell that by the way she plays.
Absolutely not. That's something that's designed her playing career here at Fairfield. Trying to be a tone setter, and definitely did that on that play there. Herder inbounding the ball. Long pass to Anderson.
It's a mismatch right here. That's a flop. Ooh!
They're going to get an offensive foul there on Anderson. Yeah, it looked a little bit like embellishment by Nascimento, but maybe it might be on the Jumbotron. Maybe another 50-50 will look here.
Hey, look at this. I don't like it.
Great angle, but we'll give the referees the discretion. I work in intramurals, but I'm not a D1 ref. So we'll leave that to them. Kirby going into the paint. Here is Sierra Johnson. Cutting to the hoop, Anderson on her. Passes to, that is Nascimento. Her finish. Gets the contact. We'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, she's been attacking.
It's what Sacred Heart needs, that tenacity, Fairfield, a lot of their games have been by such wide margins. And, you really need to set the tone and, not back down. And they haven't done that from the beginning, as first free throw by Nascimento is good. Looking on the year, Nascimento is averaging 8 points per game, as you mentioned earlier, Ethan, and 71% free throw shooter. So it's definitely room for improvement there, but she makes both there. I'm not calling that an announcer's jinx, but, definitely maybe she heard me.
Maybe. I think she did.
Beach back into the game now for Fairfield. Nellie Brown up top. Another rainbow pass to Anderson, but bailed out by another foul by Nuku.
Bailed out is right. That was going out of bounds.
A little bit too many of those rainbow passes for Fairfield, probably for Coach Carly Tebow Didonis and the rest of the coaching staff. Those are risky, and especially when you don't have the size advantage against the Sacred Heart team, those become even more, daring and maybe unwanted.
You mentioned the passes. How many kick balls have we seen? Fairfield, you just do an up fake, go under with the bounce pass, to solve their problem.
Let's see if they take your strategy here.
Again, what do I know, though?
Meg, though, passes out to Beach. Lamro Working on Johnson. Nice moves there. A little bit lob dribbling. Good cut by Anderson. Finds Beach. That's a travel, though, and that's a tough break there for Fairfield. We're going to go into the under 5 media timeout, but we'll stay with you for a little bit. Kind of a little bit of a continuation of the first half, albeit there have been some three-pointers, and, some people have gotten going. Meg Anderson is 11, but Sacred Heart and Nascimento, they've really answered the bell and given the Stags a run for their money thus far this game.
Yeah, they really have, and I have to say, in the spirit of trying to look at the glass half full, Fairfield's shooting 32% and then only down by 3 points. How many teams do you know that can do that? Not many. So it's no secret. It's no secret that Fairfield's not been playing up to their standards this game. But I'm still encouraged.
But the volume is what's the difference maker here. Sacred Heart, they're shooting percentage-wise 20% more better from 3. But Fairfield's taking 12 more shots. They're giving themselves that chance, but they're just not falling. And Fairfield's had a fair share of good looks. They haven't been as easy as they may have come earlier in the season against some other teams in the MAC, but they're getting their opportunities, and I'm sure that's a focal point for Coach Carly Thibault-Didonis in that huddle right now.
Yeah, like you said, the age-old saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Can't pass up open looks.
But again, it's only 3 points, one possession game.
Yep.
It's amazing how, by some standards, we take Fairfield maybe not playing the best game. They're not down by that much.
No. And let's be honest, we're spoiled a little bit.
A little bit. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you the reputation, the culture this team has built, and they're absolutely going to be considered a favorite in the MAC tournament in Atlantic City. But before we get there, Fairfield men's basketball is the biggest game of their season so far, hosting Mount St. Mary's, the other team who the Stags are fighting for the final first-round bye in the MAC championship in Atlantic City, which will begin Thursday, March 5th. WVOF Sports will have coverage of tomorrow's game beginning at 2 p.m. You don't want to miss that, as that will determine when we have our broadcast in Atlantic City. So definitely an important one there. But on the men's side, really quickly, you'd hope to see Brendan Benjamin back, but Isaac McCarty has really stepped up in a big way.
I was going to say, I was so impressed when Benjamin went down. He stepped in. That was awesome. That's what a pro does. He stays ready, and he stayed ready. Got an opportunity, and he made the most of it. Super impressive.
Really felt like that for a lot of people on this team. Tony Williams was out with a hand injury in that game at Quinnipiac. Eric Mejia entered the starting lineup, and what did he do? 16 points. Deuce Turner started the year in the starting lineup, but he's come off the bench as we more MAC play. But he's had great games off the bench. Most recently, 17 in that game against Siena. Fairfield has been one of the best teams in the MAC at home cooking.
Yes.
And, that certainly could be an X factor tomorrow for Fairfield. And, it's the most important game of the season. You should expect a great crowd on hand. Good student turnout tonight. Hoping for an even better one tomorrow in the final game of the Leo D. Mahoney. 4th year now already, but this is one of the best mid-major venues in all of college basketball. Yeah. No questions, right, as we see the men's basketball team here on the Jumbotron. Stags support and Stags. Also injury news on the men's side. Cam Estevez was inactive also in that game against Siena. Hope to have him back as well for that game. Definitely has seen good minutes off the bench and really has had some key games. Remember that Columbia game where they got blown out, but he had 19. Fairfield still back on the court on the women's side. Lamra behind the back finds Beach. A little bit of a slow pass. Beach tenacious going to the ground.
Great hustle.
Will be Sacred Heart ball, though. It's a jump ball. But Fairfield, that's an IQ play right there by Coach Carly calling a timeout. The second Lauren Beach jump onto that ball, but we're going back to what we were talking about conversation. Maybe it's in these bursts, but every burst matters in a tight game like this.
Yeah, it absolutely does. As basketball is a game of runs, you gotta. The important thing is adjusting, not overreacting, not underreacting.
Yeah, you mentioned the game of runs. Fairfield 0 points in their last 2 minutes and 10 seconds. When the offense isn't clicking, they still have done a great job on defense. By no means it's 34 points. By all means, 34 points. Hold to for Sacred Heart is very impressive.
It is.
It's just so uncharacteristic with the offense at just 31 points and 32% from the court, but 24% from 3. But we also mentioned the turnovers, and it has been better this half so far. But certainly something that Fairfield's got to fine tune ahead of Atlantic City.
Absolutely, turnovers in Atlantic City, as we all know, are more costly than ever. Got to take care of that rock. Can't be giving up free points. Too many good teams to be doing that.
You know, turnovers are costly enough, but points off turnovers feel like double turnovers.
Oh, yeah.
In a sense there. But, you know, we mentioned that 15-8 in favor of Sacred Heart for the points off turnovers. Sacred Heart is 5 steals. Amelia Wood is 4 of those, by the way. Nalise Dudley has the other. Sacred Heart is really relying on freshman Nascimento, though, who has 11.
Yeah.
Already past her season average of 8.
She is so shifty, and she has a killer first step. So hard to guard, and she finishes well. She's small, but she finishes well. She knows how to use the glass. Good player.
And, you know, I feel like an X factor is who's going to get to the line more in this latter stages of the game. First half, we didn't have a single free throw attempt. Just halfway through the third quarter, we already have 6. And so your teams, that's definitely a focal point. Get to the line. The more chances we have, the more likely we're going to win this game.
Yeah, you're right. And Sacred Heart is usually a team that gets to the charity stripe pretty well. I believe they've shot more free throws in every game besides 8 of them, so they get to the line a lot.
And Fairfield especially, you want Katie Lamro at the 9. We mentioned just recently after she got her 2 free throws for her first points of the game. 90% free throw shooter, and yes, that is first in the MAC. We did confirm that. Almost a 50-40-90 season there, maybe flirting with it. Going to need a little bit of increased production to get to that mark, but nonetheless a stellar junior campaign for Katie Lamro, the guard out of Enwell, New York. Certainly going to be maybe a unanimous first team all-teamer. I wouldn't expect anything otherwise. I feel like her and Anderson are locks. Sacred Heart, I could also see Amelia Wood making a second team. Dudley also, you know, Sacred Heart's got some impact players, and they didn't start 9-3 in conference play for no reason. It wasn't a fluke. And, you know, yes, they've lost 6 of their last 7, but seeds don't matter in March.
No.
And I know it's still February, but this is a great tune-up game for Atlantic City, and to some extent feels like a playoff game.
Yeah, well, like you said, tune-up game. This is a good test for Fairfield right before Atlantic City.
Looked like a quick pass there from Lamro. Herder was there, but it looks like it was off Dudley. Yeah, I think Dudley's saying, that's off me. So it's going to be Fairfield ball at the corner. Herder finds Lamro.
Lamro versus Nascimento is so fun to watch.
Yeah, Lamro's got to take advantage of that mismatch. Just get by Dudley. Nelly's shot, that's short. Rebound, good hustle by Beach, but Nelly comes away with it. Lamro with the ball now. Finds Anderson. Herder. 34-31, Sacred Heart leads. 4 minutes and change to go in this third quarter.
Mismatch right here.
Nelly Brown wanted the contact. Does she get the roll? No. Lauren Beach fighting for the ball once again. They're going to go jump ball, but it will be Sacred Heart possession. It feels like there's a lid on that rim at times for Fairfield. You know, the baby hook, the gimme by Nelly not there, and then, you know, one that just rolled around the rim forever.
Yeah, Nelly made a great strong move, you know, $1 million move, 10-cent finish. But Lauren Beach, though, how many times have we seen her dive on the floor?
It's effort. You can't teach effort.
Nope.
Nascimento with the ball now. She's taking the point guard duties now as we're going to get a foul. It's going to be on the floor. It looks like it's going to be on Meg for a hold. Yep, that's going to be on Megan Anderson. That's hers. I'm going to go off the PA announcer now at this point. Second personal, 4th team foul. So it's going to be an inbound under the hoop for Sacred Heart. Dudley with the ball. She's got a quiet 7.
Good D.
Right place, right time for Nelly Brown. She's got the steal. Lamro's pushing it 3-on-1.
She wants this herself.
With the contact, she got whacked, but she is going to the line for 2.
Looks like, yeah, Lamro does not appreciate that foul right there.
She's been involved in some physical plays. We mentioned that earlier tie-up with Nascimento. You know, that one looked a little bit harder here. We're going to go on the replay here. Oh, yeah, so it looked like the side of the face and then the arm.
Yeah.
You know, I know they're letting them play, but that one you got to call, and, you know, they did on that way.
Yes, they
and
did.
How about that? On cue, they're looking on review for
flagrant.
What I'd assume is a potential flagrant. You know, first impressions aren't everything, but looking off of that, I think that could definitely warrant maybe a flagrant. But, you know, if that's a chance for Fairfield to creep into the lead and get another possession. But, you know, mental lapses again.
Yeah, I tell you, back to that call, I don't know if I saw her try to go for the ball or not. I would expect this won't be upgraded to a flagrant. But you're right, definitely does deserve another look. Lamro, honestly, Andrew, if this takes Katie Lamro off, good. That'll motivate her to put this team on her back as she's done so many times.
Looks like they came to a decision. We're going to wait for the PA announcer discretion, or for her voice and the referee discretion, so stand by. But if you get 2 free throws, that cuts it to a 1-point game, and then you get the ball right back with a chance to take the lead. We've seen it earlier with the jump ball from Meg, and then she got the 3 right after. You know, you just got to build off of that and use that as a turning point.
Yeah,
you know?
this is the potential to be a 5-point swing. So
looks like the referees are meeting. Kids are dancing. Referees going to the table. So it is just a common foul.
I think that's the right call.
You know, I wasn't there on the floor, so I can't make the call again, but, you know, obviously clearly it wasn't enough. Lamro nonetheless going to the line for 2 here. Just 2 points on the game for Lamro. 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, got her 2 points from the free throw line, but, you know, any point is a confidence boost, I feel like, for Lamro. You know, she never backs down, never really. It's a bend but do not break mentality.
Absolutely, and you mentioned about how elite she is at the foul line, so these are almost guaranteed points for her.
Let's not go that far. I don't want to guarantee anything. All right, we're safe. Lamro's good. All right. Back to a 1-point game. Sacred Heart still leads 34-33. That's Kirby. No, that's not Kirby. Excuse me. That's Nascimento. Kirby's at the scorekeeper's table. Good find there to Dudley. Dudley's up to 9.
That was a great curl right there by Dudley. Good look.
Cross-court pass to her 3. No good. Rebound Dudley.
It's a great look by Ko, though.
Absolutely was. And, you know, volume, again, we talk about, but these shots are going to have to fall sooner rather than later. 5 of 22 from 3 now. Johnson up top. Still has not scored. Certainly has been an impact player from her time at Sacred Heart.
How about Nelly?
Yeah, you need that type of effort. Hustle play. That's a crazy play. The ball's still in. Meg 3. It has to go in at this point. No good. Fairfield will retain possession. It's hot potato and every other back and forth. Crazy game. But Fairfield will retain possession after all that. Great hustle by Nelly initially. Good pass. Lamro went for almost like a touch pass or a volleyball.
That's your best Jokic impression there.
Maybe not the best move from Lamro, maybe looking back, but, you know, Fairfield's fortunate to have another possession here. Would have been a highlight-worthy play nonetheless. I feel like almost plays are highlights. There are a lot of plays for Fairfield, but that one would have been the icing on the cake there. Lamro with the ball. Her 3. No good. Rebound Ko. Way to follow the shot there. Lamro gets separation from Johnson. Her cut.
Oh, what a move.
And 1, and you can see the passion and energy right there. She needed that, and she knew it.
How about that sweet double crossover? Just swooping in that lane, finishing through the contact. And, Andrew, this could be exactly what she needs now.
Well, you know, it's Fairfield's first time in a long time to tie the game, and, you know, it wouldn't come at a better time here as Fairfield's going to make a substitution. It's going to be Sydney Scott checking into the game for Nellie Brown, who's going to go off with the trainer. Looks like, you know, Nellie's had some lower body injuries this year.
We just saw Katie Lamro miss free throw.
You know, I tried to avoid that. You know, I was doing good, but, you know, Nellie's still working her way back from injury. You know, you're never the same after that ACL injury. Lower body injuries can linger, especially with this late in the season. You know, everyone's hurting a little bit. But Fairfield retains possession there. Rare missed free throw by Lamro. Nonetheless, that has to be a confidence move with that tough bucket. Herder up top. 1-point game, 36-35. Grit and grind game if there ever was one. Lamro, tough finish again, and there she is. And she's going crazy, as is the bench, us, and the crowd.
That's my MAC player of the year right there. Wow. I mean, just the mental toughness she has to have. It would be so easy to go, oh, I'm 0 for 7, you know, put your head down. We never see her do that. We never see her spirit waver. And guess what? Basketball gods reward her for that.
8 points now for Lamro, right back just like that. 8 points in the quarter, making 9, yes. And Fairfield is back in the lead with 2 points. Stag crowd is back in it.
You can feel the energy.
Student section as loud as they have been all game. And the community. Nascimento up top. Sayanko guarding her. Poke the ball. Gets it free. Nascimento gets it back.
Oh, wow. How many bigs do you know can guard like the perimeter like Sai can? Wow.
1 through 5, Sai's going to guard him. Herder with the ball. Lamro looked like a foul. The referee lets him play on. Keeping up with that physical game from start to finish, Ethan.
Lamro wants this right now. She wants another one. Oh, it's a good look.
Too strong of a finish there. Great board by
Whoa!
That is a unnecessary play there by Sierra Johnson. Got grabbed by the arm, taken down.
That was violent.
Nobody is happy.
And the booze shower here in Mahoney.
We're going to watch the replay here. Never mind, we're not going to, but that's... The first one wasn't a flagrant.
No.
That one might be a warrant for ejection.
I would hope so. That was... Wow.
Frustration, there's frustration. You didn't get the rebound. Okay. The ground by the arm is a whole other thing, and that's a dirty play, honestly, by Sierra Johnson.
I mean, Sierra, she just whipped Katie Lamro to the ground. That was... And Katie Lamro did such a good job of keeping a cool head. Better than I would have been able to do.
Yeah, no, that's the maturity I feel like that Fairfield has in this program. They're not new to these pressure, high-stakes moments.
Foul on number 24, Sierra Johnson. That is her third personal foul. Fairfield remains in the bonus.
All the court is rather than foul number 24, they'll be reviewed.
So they're going to review the call for a flagrant. I think that'd have to be a flagrant. I'm just happy Lamro's okay and all that. That arm is such a delicate and sensitive part of your body.
Right.
As big and as physical as Sierra Johnson is, 5'8", but she's as tenacious as they come on this Sacred Heart team. One of the seniors on this team, trying to set a tone, but
that's not the way to do it.
Definitely cross the line there. There's a difference between playing physical and playing not smart physical basketball, and that was not smart there by Sierra Johnson, who could be ejected maybe. We don't know. I'm not going to speak for anyone. That could be a big loss for a Sacred Heart team that is really trying to find a consistent number one option in the score. Nascimento has 11, but besides that, Dudley has 9, Emma Kirby has 6, but really no one else. Sacred Heart's only gone with 7 players, and you're going to have to tap into that bench, especially if there's a significant call on Johnson here.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm surprised it's taking so long.
I have never seen that physical of a play. Even this season with men's and women's, that was just...
I mean, you heard the reaction from the crowd, an audible gasp.
It was a low blow, I feel like, not physically, but, kind of just like a dirty play from the get-go. And, frustration's one thing, but, actually taking out that frustration is another, and that's just a line crossed. The referees are done meeting at the table. Trying to remain objective here. Just tough to see that type of play, especially the MAC Player of the Year.
Yes.
Right before Atlantic City. The last thing you want is an injury of that magnitude. Lamro's tough, though. She's as tough as they come in this conference, but
tough as nails.
Not even that play is. That play's going to get a reaction from anyone at any level, I feel like.
I think you're absolutely right.
I think Minetti might also be expecting a significant penalty here.
It'll be interesting to see how she restructures her lineup if, as you said, she'll be...
We're going to wait here.
Previous play has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
So it will be a flagrant 1 foul. Minetti's not thrilled with that. But, off first glance, I know first impressions aren't everything like I said. It was not a basketball play. I think that's the term I've been looking for.
It's not a basketball play. And I have to say, I don't know what Minetti is arguing about. That was as clear as day.
Maybe they're arguing that...
And she's going to get teed up soon if she's not careful.
Let's see. I think this is just time we just got to watch and see what happens. She is red like a stag right now.
Yes.
Not natural stag, just the color of the universe I was going for.
She's
hot. The assistant coach is to Mark Taney, trying to cool her off.
Yeah, you see him trying to hold her back a little bit, get between her and the ref.
Maybe they're arguing that Lamro brought Johnson down and initiated the contact, but I just don't see it.
That's weak. That's weak.
Look at this. A 2-point lead turns to 4, and she is going with the iPad. Who's that? Patrick Beverly?
Whoa. Good. I like that one. Whoa, and she's
getting a firm warning from the ref right now. And there's 2 assistant coaches involved. I believe that's
How has she not been levied a technical foul yet?
It looks like that's Jen Peel, one of the assistant coaches in her second season with Sacred Heart. That's Jacinda Dunbart trying to cool the air, trying to just move on, That was a heated exchange, Joe, and, something that got everyone's attention, nonetheless, no matter who you're rooting for.
Now let's see how Lamro responds.
Three-pointer would be great here.
And
It looked good. No good there by Anderson, but certainly good shot, quality shot there. Passed up a good shot for a better shot for the Stags. Pappas cutting to the paint now. Her finish. No good. Rebound hurt her.
good board.
Got to play
Herder's
smart here.
Yeah.
Can't be overwhelmed by the game or the environment. You got to stick to fundamentals and know what you do. Don't let emotions get the better of you on any play. It's going to be a foul on the floor there by Pappas. Fairfield's in the bonus, though. This could loom large, even though there's just a minute left in the third quarter.
And you see Sacred Heart making some substitutions here.
I think Johnson needs to go to the bench just for a mental reset.
Yeah. Herder's got to have both of these.
Herder. First one is good. Had 18 in that game at Sacred Heart, but has entered the starting lineup and has really succeeded. She's averaged double-digit games a lot. On the season, averaging 8.4 points per game. And from the free throw line, she's a 95% free throw shooter. So, yeah, it's not Katie. It's better than Katie Lamrose, honestly.
Yeah. I wonder what the sample size is.
Maybe that's 85. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
My sheet's not great. BCC printer. Wood, tough finish there. Gets by Lamro for the good bucket.
That's too easy right there.
Fairfield maybe looking to go 2 for 1 here. Sid Scott with the ball. Had a three-pointer early, but nothing since. Cyan Coe working in the paint on Kirby. Nice footwork. Tough finish there, and you can see the emotion from her there as well. Everyone's getting in on it.
She's got such great touch around the rim. Again, that little drop step is so lethal, so hard to guard.
But Fairfield Sacred Heart delivering once again here. No better way to conclude the MAC regular season for both teams, honestly, and for the MAC conference as a whole. Nascimento now.
Fairfield, you don't want to give a bucket at the buzzer here.
1 second separating the shot clock and play clock. Wood gets Anderson to jump.
Great D.
Nascimento with the ball. 1 second, her shot. Wow. Pretty shot and pretty make, and that's got to feel good for a Sacred Heart team that was a whirlwind of emotions just a short while ago.
What a third quarter that was. So much energy. That's awesome. That's MAC basketball, man.
It is, and Fairfield outscored Sacred Heart by 5 in that quarter. They've got the lead in this back and forth affair. Should be an exciting one here for the end. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. crazy third quarter just happened here at Leo D. Mahoney Arena. It had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that was hectic, but hey, that's made me so excited now for these last 10 minutes. How good is this going to be?
It is going to be one for the books. You know, every version of Fairfield Sacred Heart has been good. In the prior 3 meetings they've had in the MAC, you know, it had a Janelle Brown buzzer beater one game. We had Katie Lamrose N1s in this half, and then we had some physicality. You know, it's MAC basketball to a T, and you know, when people say this league, this game is this league. I feel like it's a great epitome of you know, what's to come and what the league is and how we can, what's to expect in Atlantic City. That begins Thursday, March 5th, and the championships are Monday the 9th and Tuesday the 10th. WVOF Sports will be there for all Fairfield games, so don't miss any of it. Signing Coe in the hoop.
Again.
She's in double figures now, or she was in double figures. She just added to the double figures, so now she's at 12.
She can score at will in the paint when she's on.
And let's remember, Fairfield outscored Sacred Heart 16-3 in that fourth quarter. That's a great start there for Fairfield. Sacred Heart needs to respond here. Wood now, double team
I like
by
that
Anderson. Dudley out on the perimeter, Scott tightly on her.
Great hands by Herder.
Have to love that. Every player had the ball, had 2 defenders on her. A whole possession. Excuse me. Herder now with Anderson. Her 3.
It's a good look. And Scott
gets the offensive board. Those dead balls are going to just kill you. Herder's 3.
That's deep.
Book it.
She shot that from the BCC.
That was from the BCC, maybe even further. That's an encouraging bucket, though. Sacred Heart needs a timeout, and this is the Fairfield's largest lead of the game at 9. You know, a quick timeout here by Jessica Minetti and Sacred Heart. You know, it's reminiscent of that last meeting back on January 31st where Fairfield outscored Sacred Heart 16-3 in that fourth quarter. You know, ironically, it was a 40. This might sound crazy. It was a 44-40 point game. It was a 44-40 game.
Okay.
Through 3 quarters. Score after today is 44-40.
Could we see a repeat?
Maybe. You know, history has a funny way of repeating itself at times. But, you know, this has to be the best start Coach Carly and the Sags could have asked for coming out of the second half here. But uncharacteristic game for Fairfield and a lot of players. You know, once my stats load, we will go there. But Fairfield shooting just 33% from the court, 22% from 3, but have way more shot attempts and more volume, which has played in their favor as of late. Sacred Heart is 46% from the court, 44% from 3, 18 turnovers. Fairfield has flipped the script and is now leading Sacred Heart in the points off turnovers, 17-15.
Yeah, and one thing too, Andrew, you look at the stat sheet, I see Fairfield's gotten to the line 10 times, they're 9 for 10. Sacred Heart only 4. That adds up.
But, you know, look at this. A lot of these dead balls are going Fairfield's way to start. That's what happened on the Herder 3. Sydney Scott corralled it. Fairfield is up to 13 offensive rebounds. Yes, 13. Double plus 1 of Sacred Heart, and that really has been an X factor here early. And, you know, Sacred Heart still winning the rebounding battle, but offensive rebounds like off turnovers are double.
Yes, they are. One of the most valuable things in the game, no doubt.
Think we get a T-shirt from here?
I don't know, unless someone has a cannon.
I don't know if we have the budget. We'll take a break here for the media just for our ear's sake. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Fairfield has their largest lead of the game, 49-40 against Sacred Heart.
5-0 run to start the fourth quarter. I'm Andrew Jameson alongside Ethan Hudson for WVOF Sports coverage of Fairfield women's basketball. Sacred Heart on the perimeter now. That's Johnson back into the game after that crazy play with Lamro. Anderson gets the board. Everything's going Fairfield's way so far this fourth quarter. Another play there that went their way.
Yeah, and Fairfield's got to keep the foot on the gas, show no mercy here.
Oh, you'd love to see this lead go double digits.
Oh, is that going to go on?
It looks like it's going to go on Ko. The referee was very emphatic in the extension of the elbow. That's usually not in favor of the offensive team, you know.
No.
Probably right looking here.
Yeah, she hooked. That's a good call. That's a good call.
You know, you have to love Ko just going at will, though.
The aggressiveness is second to none.
No in foul trouble, though, by any means. Just her first foul of the game. Try to keep those fouls down, though, and they're going to get another one on the floor. It looks like this one's going to be on Herder, though.
Yeah, a little too handsy there.
Yeah, you just don't want to give Sacred Heart any more opportunities to get back into this game. You know, 2 early fouls here already. You know, free throws haven't been a lot this game, but Sacred Heart's made all 4 of them. Dudley going to inbound the ball here. Johnson going to check back out. Nuku back into the game with 3 fouls. Amelia Wood here, cutting on Ko. Double team by Anderson. That's a great double team. Ko with the defense. That's outstanding defense and a block.
She's doing everything right now, Ko.
In double figures and X factor on defense right now.
Here's Lamro, head of steam.
Lamro got whacked again.
Ooh.
You know, Amelia Wood wants a push-off, but
Lamro's taking some hits this game.
Lamro is indeed taking some hits this game, but she has gotten back up from every one of them, has only gotten better as this game has gone on.
Yeah, she's a warrior is what she is.
That foul's going to be on Wood. That's going to be her second, Sacred Heart's first. Katie Lamro going to the line for 2. First one is good. She's up to 12, tied with, I believe, Ko for the team lead. Yep, that is correct. Thank you, Stats, for updating. And she takes it on the second one. 1 free throw doesn't define you.
No, it does not.
Fairfield up 11, their largest lead of the game. Every bucket just keeps saying that. Nascimento, there. Now it's Nuku on the baseline.
Herder's got to watch those hands there.
Nascimento, tough finish. Gets the foul call.
Yeah.
They're going to get a foul on the shot. Looks like a push there.
Yeah, that's a good take by Nascimento right there.
That's going to be on Herder. That's her third. You're going to see Nellie Brown go to the bench in a corresponding move.
We haven't seen Nellie in a little bit.
No, we have not. But, you know, it is senior night after all, and, you know, no better night to make an impact. But it looks like Sid Scott's actually going to be checking out the game as, you know, Coach Eric Johnson and Erica Brown are with Herder right now on the sideline. And we talk about Carly so much what she's done for this program, but she emphasizes time and time again, it's the assistant coaches that are the X factors. That first free throw is no good.
Yeah, Andrew, you're so right. I mean, you talk to any of them, you just see how much of it's like a family. They're all on the same page. There's no I. It's just one team.
Actually, it's we. It's been we since day one they got here. Now all in their 4th year with the Stags. Also give credit to Dom Lewis, grad assistant first season. Been a nice addition to the squad as well. From fellow Mac School, Niagara.
And he's also wearing a dapper suit right now, so props to him.
As we are.
Yes, we are.
Herder now with the ball.
And 1.
Yeah, they got the whistle there. That's going to be on Wood again. That's her third. A little bit of a faint whistle there. Nonetheless, another opportunity to Fairfield to extend their lead.
And look, Katie Lamro's already shot up to Fairfield's leading scorer this game. How quickly things can change.
That's just the type of player she is, though. You know, adversity is inevitable for any player, and she has not only bounced back, but exceeded in bouncing back. And Herder's going to go to the line here, trying to get in double digits, and the 4th Stag to do so, looking to be at least. First free throw is good. Fairfield's gone to the line way more this half.
Yes,
have
they have
13 free throws this half and have made 12 of them. That's efficiency at best.
That's something, if you're Coach Carly, you like.
When the game freezes, you got to take advantage, and Fairfield has done just that. Johnson now gives it off to Dudley. Dudley with Ko on her. Always a threat on the defensive end. Yeah, a little bit overzealous there by Nellie Brown. You can see her signaling the coach. My bad. But, Carly loves that tenacity and that effort.
Well, Andrew, you brought up, you want to be careful about Fairfield in these fouls. Already up to 4.
One more in the bonus, yeah.
Don't want to give Sacred Heart free points at the line. Let them crawl back into this game.
Absolutely, Ethan is. Nascimento's going to have the ball here. Nellie Brown on her. A little bit of a bump there, not enough though. Nice read there. Good defense by Anderson. Good job by Nellie being
What
there.
an outlet right there. Oh, that was pretty.
Great defense turns to great offense. It looked like first play of the game.
It did. Yes, it did.
Fast break points, 9-6 in favor of Fairfield. No two more important than what we just saw. Fairfield's got to be careful not to foul here. One more foul and then Sacred Heart will be in the bonus.
Yep. Got to move your feet.
Kirby now, playing defense on her. Yeah, she got the hand, but credit to Co for staying with Kirby. Someone definitely has a size advantage on Co, but that's Co's second, team's fifth.
It's a big task to guard Kirby in the post for sure.
5 on the team, 5.
Kirby has 6 points on the game. Also to her name is 8 rebounds, so the Sacred Heart's leading rebounder. And that free throw is no good, though. Any point you can get, you need to take, and that's a lost one right there.
I was going to say she struggled a little bit at the line this year.
Let's see if I can read my stats this time. Kirby, a 63% free throw shooter, but second one, good there. Brown finds Meg. Megan Anderson, that is. Back out to Janelle Brown. To Katie Lamro, playing some perimeter ball right now. Lamro cuts on Nascimento. Her shot. Lamro might have been a foul, but I don't know, though. So no good. Sacred Heart's going to take it the other way.
She got to her spot, but just couldn't finish.
Nascimento leading the charge, leading the Pioneers with 14 points. Nuku has the ball now, but the Sacred Heart is slowly running out of time here.
I was about to say, if you're Fairfield, you like these long possessions Sacred Heart's do, and they got to get and score quickly.
But in response, just slow the game down. If Sacred Heart's slowing, meet them where they are.
Exactly.
And you can
Fairfield's
see
in no rush.
doing that right now.
Fairfield should be in no rush right now.
Lamro finds Co in the paint. Co with the size advantage. Great footwork, great move, great finish.
How many times have we seen that today? Oh,
she's up to 14 points.
it's like muscle memory for her. The left-handed finish.
It's also so consistent and so efficient. Dudley. Oh, yeah, we both saw that.
Yeah.
Maybe a push-off. Let him play. Johnson now. Gives it to Nascimento. Finds Dudley. Her three. No good. Good board by Herder. Absolutely right. You saw the arm go up and just grab it. No shot for Nuku. Anderson three. Bank is open, not that time, but Lamro's right there.
There's those offensive rebounds you said, Andrew.
Underhand pass to Herder. Second chance points there.
Andrew, that might be the dagger. That might be the final nail in the coffin for this Sacred Heart team. 18-point game, less than 5 to go. That's a very tall task, especially at Mahoney Arena.
And second chance points have been Fairfield's X factor, and on the other hand, Sacred Heart's Achilles heel this game. 3, no more important there from the 3 there. Second chance points, Fairfield's up to 16. Fairfield does lead by 18, and that's not directly corresponded, but it's certainly a reason why Fairfield has been able to pad their lead. And, that's another offensive rebound, adding to 14 total now for the Stags, who now lead the rebound margin, 31-29.
Congratulations.
And listen, this has been a really good test for the Stags, I think. Coming to a game, your stuff's not working. So can you dig deep? Can you find another way to win? And they have. How have they been doing it? Diving on loose balls, fast break points, offensive rebounds. So if I'm Coach Carly, I'm very, very encouraged because once we go into the MAC tournament, as you know, things don't always go as planned.
Oh, absolutely. We saw that last year. 2 nail-biting games in the quarterfinal and semi against Manhattan and Mount, respectively. But I think this is what Fairfield wants heading into Atlantic State. They don't want a blowout win, I feel like. You want a tournament vibe from the get-go, exactly. And this is definitely a great lead-up game into the tournament. Fairfield will be the 2 seed playing at 2:30 on Friday against everyone's favorite, TBD. We'll know after this game for sure, though. But Sacred Heart down 18, largest deficit of the game. 4:30 to go. Johnson cuts, double team by Herder. Nascimento's 3. Wide right, rebound Sacred Heart, but it looked like, it's feisty.
Oh, and who else? Katie Lamro.
But who's in the middle of that again? Lamro and Johnson. I'd give the edge to Lamro there, but
would
you know,
too.
Sacred Heart does have possession, but you know, credit to Lamro for forcing it, just diving on the ball. Not a lot of players will make that play.
No.
Feels like everyone on this Fairfield team would make that play, though. It's just a selfless culture
that-
and you
yeah,
know, the
exactly.
go-getter attitude.
And that's what, you know, Coach Carly has instilled. She's just totally transformed this program.
Absolutely.
Masterful job.
And this is Wood now on the perimeter. Pesky
No.
Nellie Brown. Is it going to be cookies?
Oh, wow. Look at that hustle. Look
They're
at that.
fighting.
They're all there.
And
Yeah.
the ref wants him to calm down.
Yeah, they're getting a little feisty.
Lamro's loving it. Nellie's loving it. The bench is loving it. The crowd's loving it now as it'll be Fairfield possession. I don't know what the ref is looking for.
I don't know
maybe.
either. I'm trying to figure that out.
But you see, look, Nascimento's bought the ball there. Nelly first, Lamro for the follow through. These double teams have really been Fairfield's edge, I feel like, in this game. And they've done it from start to finish. You know, 42 points is not a lot for any game.
No.
And, you know, but Fairfield's offense has turned and the defense has stayed solid from start to finish.
Well, yeah, the double teams, that's important. Not only are they doubling, but they're doing it at the right time. It's very well orchestrated, these double teams, because, you know, sometimes you double, you leave a man open. Fairfield's not doing that. They're waiting at the right time to double when the ball handler's not looking. It's been very effective.
20 turnovers for Sacred Heart. Second straight game, maybe more, that Fairfield has forced 20 or more turnovers. Fairfield's done a better job as the game's gone on of limiting their own turnovers at 11. That number was at 7 heading into the half for that, for the record. 14
right.
assists for the team, 10 steals. It's been a ball hawk from both teams, excuse me, but it's really seemed like Fairfield's had the edge defensively as the game's gone on. As Fairfield is winning this fourth quarter, 16-2, so 1 point off what we had. But there's still 4:09 to go.
There's still 4:09 to go.
That's going to change. But great atmosphere here to conclude the MAC regular season for the Fairfield Stags as the refs are coming to the center of the court to make the call. We'll wait for the call here.
Much more cheery vibe now in Mahoney right now.
You know,
compared
it's
to
not
first
how you
half.
start, it's how you finish. There's a reason
Yes,
we say
it
that
is.
time and time again. And, you know, if I'm going out at Mahoney, this is a heck of a way to go out.
Yep.
So let's see what the call is. I'd expect Fairfield ball over here on the inbound. And it will be. Lamro can't help but smile, and you know, it's just good to see her have that confidence and positivity back. You know, that first half was rough, but she's already at 15, so
points.
it's like a full game for her, honestly.
Yeah, and that's what the best players do. You know, they don't get down on themselves. They're confident. They know their ability. Katie Lamro knows she can take over a game when she needs to. Just hurt her there. Nice little move.
Herder just too strong on the finish. Great board by Nelly.
Another offensive rebound.
All right, make that, I believe, 15 now on the game. Yep.
Let's get Lauren Beach a basket here.
Number 15 after the 15th offensive rebound, making an impact on senior night. Fellow senior Nelly Brown with the ball. Her three. Long rebound
What a
bag.
board.
That's another offensive board, and they're going to get a foul on the floor. Just the height Megan Anderson gets on the rebounds. You know, not the tallest, not the biggest at 6 foot. Granted, she uses that to her benefit when she needs to. But for her to make that extra effort and jump into the air for that rebound, that really has been the story of the game for Fairfield.
Yeah, well, Meg Anderson also, too, she's really strong, like extremely strong. That's why, like you said, undersized, but what she lacks in size, she makes up for in strength.
Can't teach effort, as I said earlier. And Fairfield has been given effort and then some. Sacred Heart in a 3+ minute scoring drought now. Fairfield, clock is their friend right now. Just, you know, use all the shot clock if you need to.
I like this right here, mismatch. On
Bread and
cue.
butter right there. Get Meg going, get Katie selfless play, get her assists up. That's perfect and just what Fairfield needs to extend the lead to 20 now, just like that. That's Nuku. Nice pass there to Nascimento. Her three short.
It's a good look.
Rebound Beach. Fairfield should slow it down here, but knowing this electrifying offense, not sure if that'll do that, but might be wise to. Beach with the ball now on the perimeter. Lamro finds Anderson to Beach, to Nelly.
Giving Beach a lot of space right there in the three. Oh, and great look by Nelly. Oh, Beach.
But do you see how much of an impact Beach makes even when she's not on the ball? The floor spacing and the helping teammates find a better shot is really an unappreciated aspect of her game.
It really
Sacred
is.
Heart gets the turnover here, but time not on their side. 2:30 running out, down 20.
Yeah, Lauren Beach moves without the ball as good as anybody.
This is Nuku now. That's good. She's up to 5 now.
If you're Fairfield, you'll live with that.
Yeah, no threes, honestly, I feel like, but also no foul. Don't give Sacred Heart any more chances than they already need.
No silly and ones, nothing.
Exactly. And Lamro's going to have the ball here. You can see Fairfield.
Mismatch.
You know, take a good shot if you have it. Anderson did just that. That's the second time within the last 2 minutes we've seen that. It's worked to perfection each time.
Yeah, now we have a 20-point game. Wow.
It's amazing how quickly things can change.
Like we said, a game of runs, right?
Good one for Fairfield, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wood now has Nascimento on the perimeter. Back to Wood, a little bit of give and go. Finds Kirby in the paint. Lamro with the jump, but Anderson, I don't even know if Kirby knew she was there, just went for the block right behind.
I don't know if that was intentional.
Clean as a whistle. Herder's corner 3. Book it. Maybe that's the coffin?
Andrew, I think that'll do it.
Herder's up to 16 now. How about Jill Herder? We talked to her at the top of the broadcast. 18 points that last game. Sacred Heart had the move to the starting lineup. She has been phenomenal as of late, though, for Sacred, and could very well be the X factor for the Stags in Atlantic City. And they're going to have Kiara Gregory check into the game for Katie Lamro to a loud ovation. Well-deserved, absolutely. Give her flowers and then some for the hopeful MAC Player of the Year.
Yeah, man, she just showed pure grit today. Smash mouth basketball. Silly foul there.
Silly foul there by KG, but doesn't really matter in the waning stages of this game as Fairfield is up to a 23-point lead. But nonetheless, Nascimento will go to the line for 2. So, in all likelihood, that Fairfield hangs on to the win. Fairfield will finish conference play with a 19-1 record in the MAC for the second straight season. More specifically, that is 58-2 over their last 60 games, which is just unheard of.
I was going to say unheard of.
It's like video game. I don't know if video games are that successful when you sim them, but what they have done in this program in 4 years, because you have to do the journey. The first year is definitely part of the journey. Has been absolutely phenomenal. And you mentioned we were spoiled at the top of the broadcast. It's been a pleasure to watch over these past 4 years, and we'll get some more in AC.
It really is a privilege.
Kiara Gregory at the top of the key now.
Shoot that beach. Shoot that beach.
Everyone wants her to shoot it. She does. That's
Look at her.
Long.
Look at that smile on the face, man. That's the reason why you do it.
If she makes a bucket, the crowd's going to go crazy, and rightfully so, as it looks like we're going to get some of the younger players for Fairfield to check into the game with 43 seconds left. But Fairfield end the regular season 19-1. Sacred Heart will end 10-10 and losers of 7 of their last 8. Haven't done all the seeding in terms of that, but Fairfield will officially play as the number 2 seed, but we'll let the seniors have their moment right now. Great ovation from the crowd and well-deserved for all the hard work and effort those 4 ladies have put in.
And look at that hug by Nelly and Coach Carly right there. Their relationship, so important to this team's success.
I guarantee you Coach Carly said job's not finished, though.
Oh, of course, because it's not.
But you have to appreciate the president. It's been one hell of a career for Nellie Brown, and it's been a pleasure to watch.
Nellie Brown's got plenty more basketball to play, man.
Absolutely. Kiara Gregory at the top now finds Selen Yusan, the freshman out of Turkey. Christina Pham into the game. One of these Stags on the court looking for some points on the game. Here's Kiara Gregory. She's had some really good minutes as a freshman.
She has.
Coach Carly, we hear time and time again at the post-game conferences, admiring her work ethic and kind of earning these minutes.
Like you said, yeah, and again, the quickest way to earn respect from your coach is having a hard work ethic like KG does.
But it's just the waning moments of the game here. Fairfield fans going to come to their feet almost imminently. Good finish there by Emma Kirby, but it won't do much. Here's the crowd going to erupt right now.
And that's all she wrote.
And that is all she wrote on the regular season as Fairfield storms back. They were down at points this game within striking distance, but an emphatic fourth quarter where the Stags outscored the Pioneers 23-10 to head into the Atlantic City with momentum, who are now winners of 8 straight, Ethan. It wasn't pretty at times, but Fairfield really made Sacred Heart's job really difficult and played their brand of basketball as this game went on.
Well, you're right, Andrew. It wasn't pretty, but it's going to say a W on the stat sheet either way. A W is a W. Fairfield, I have to say, I'm very impressed about how they dug deep. They locked in. They went to things. They went to things that were working. They went into the paint.
But now we are in March. You know what March is? Win in advance. There's nothing like the MAC championship, which is a single elimination game.
You said job's not finished yet.
The Stags now clinch a share of the MAC regular season championship.
Can't believe I forgot that. But Fairfield, yes, with the win, does indeed clinch, as you may have heard over the PA announcer, did clinch the MAC, a share, of the MAC regular season championship. This is at least their third straight year with either an outright championship or a championship. Certainly a dynasty within the past couple of years.
A dynasty
in the
indeed.
Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. And, you know, it's just been a pleasure to watch. There's really no other words. No better way to go out with a win.
No better way. Like
And
you
especially
said,
for the seniors.
there's going to be plenty more wins of it.
So from us at WVOF, I'm Andrew Jamison alongside Ethan Hudson. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Fairfield Women's Basketball. Don't forget to tune in to tomorrow's version of men's basketball at 2 p.m. where the Fairfield Stags host Mount St. Mary's in a pivotal game, which will be for the last first round bye. So don't miss it. And for me and Ethan, we'll see you in Atlantic City. Have a good night.